The following Toku Podcastu contains spoilers from both past and present tokusatsu, anime, manga, movies and other related media. If you do not wish to be spoiled, we suggest turning off the podcast now. Otherwise, please enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Tokusatsu Podcast, the best show about Tokusatsu you probably never heard of. And you know, we don't say this often, but Inoue, go fuck yourself. That's Jay.
You guys remember that time Vampire became Batman?
Which time?
The most recent movie.
Wait, what?
It was a Robert Pattinson joke.
Oh. See, the thing is, it happened so many times at this point, Jay. Batman's become a vampire at least once
No,
a year
I said
at
a
this point.
vampire became Batman.
Oh, you know what? That works a bit better now. Okay. Look, you already know what it is, boys and girls. It's Kamen Rider fucking Kiva time. It's, the fucking something year anniversary. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. This show sucks. Let's get into why it sucks. Jay, tell us what the fuck is this show?
Well, I'll do the best I can. The best way to explain it, I guess, is this is two simultaneous plot lines. The A plot, I guess is the best way to put it, focuses on the most depressed man in Japan, Wataru Kurenai.
That's a surprise knowing that Miyazaki exists.
I know, right? Who is, for reasons that are never really elaborated on properly, in possession of a superpowered set of ancient armor called Kiva, accessed through a bat machine thing named Kivats. And he fights against creatures known as Fangires, which are basically vampires, except they don't all turn into bats. They do vampire shit, basically. That's all you really know. It's vampire shit, essentially. As well as dealing with the other shenanigans that get involved with the vampire stuff. And then the B plot focuses on Wataru's father, Otoya, who is the biggest mugging jackass on the planet. And his own journey of getting involved with Fangires and dealing with their eternal bullshit. If that doesn't sound like a very good explanation, that's because the show also doesn't really explain it very well.
Yeah, so with that being said, why don't we get into our characters? And we're going to have to start with Wataru because I hate this fucking child.
Well, I would hope so. He's the main character.
So unfortunately, he is. We couldn't just stick in the fucking 80s. No, we couldn't stick with the character that's actually charismatic. No, we have to have this fucking bitch of a character. So, I you know what, Jay? It's funny. I'll give the show this. It was a lot more consistent with its introvert nature than I remember it. But in being more consistent, he was way more annoying. He was... I can't even describe how annoying this kid is. Because I get what they were trying to do with him. But I'm sorry. He sucks. He just flat out sucks.
Wataru is definitely infamous for being, one, very, very whiny. Not whiny in the same way of guys like Ghost or Zio or Mach or... I'm trying to think of somebody who's whinier than Mach, to be entirely honest.
I mean, I'm not trying to say this as a negative, but fucking Ryotaro from Denno was pretty fucking whiny.
Oh yeah, but he's a fucking child, so he doesn't really count.
I mean, true. That's also true.
No, so Wataru is whiny, depressed, has negative self-esteem. He is an introvert, and it's always been very, I don't necessarily misrepresented how much of a drastic shift it is, but he does start off very, very, like, to the point of mental illness levels of introvert. Like, he walks around in a fucking hazmat suit and a mask and a bunch of other, like, goggles and everything. And he's like, he freaks the fuck out being outside. He won't talk to anybody, anything like that. And then he kind of softens up a little bit and becomes a little more normal by a small margin of definition. But
see, the problem, I was gonna say, the problem is with that is that we're never really given a reason why he's like that, because it's not like his mom told him to stay the fuck inside all of his life. We saw him as a kid playing with other kids, so it's like, why is he like this? What happened here? Like, what happened between him being 8 years old and Taiga giving him shoes back to now? Like, what the fuck?
Because it's implied also that, like, he never goes to school or any, I mean, he's like in his fucking 20s, so obviously he wouldn't go to school, but he doesn't like go to school or go anywhere or have a job or anything like that, and none of those details are ever really elaborated on. And it's not even necessarily a problem that, like, he's depressed or he's like he has low self-esteem and is very antisocial. The problem is that, like, he doesn't fucking do anything. He's just kind of there a lot of the times. The plot has to have him get involved a lot.
You know, it's really funny you mentioned. Honestly, now that I think about it, he fits the lyrics to the Offspring song "Self-Esteem" so fucking well. You really think
You're
about
not
it?
wrong. You are not wrong. No.
God, that's so fun. That kind of pisses me off. But yeah, like you said, he's a very static character. Like, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't have motivation to do anything really until the very end, and even then, it's kind of just falls on his fucking lap, really. So it's like, what do we do with this guy? Why do we care? Like, literally.
I mean, no. Even then, like, once you get to the final arcs and everything, his motivation is not his own. It's being spurred on by other people. Like, him sort of giving up, like, his humanity and his growth is because of what other people have done to him. The whole arc at the end there with his dad was because of things other people engineered him to going into. He never really has any agency as a character. The plot and the other characters set up events that Wataru just kind of gets involved in.
Yeah.
And he never at any point does really anything of his own.
I don't think there's a single point where he sincerely comes up with an idea and does it. I don't remember. You know
Other
what?
than,
Okay,
like,
no.
giving up when he doesn't want to fight.
I mean, sure.
Which I guess
But, like,
kind of counts. Not that I can recall, no. Because
like, yeah, like, nothing he wants is something that he actually wants. Like, I think the only thing he wanted in this show was Mio, and she fucking died.
The only things he wants to do are make his violins and get a girlfriend, and he fails at doing both. I didn't really have anywhere else to go from that. Yeah, he just fails at doing both of those. Those are his only
He fails
goals.
at pretty much everything he does.
Exactly.
Like everything he's been told to do, everything he's pushed to do, everything that he thinks he wants to do, he fucking fails at it. His girlfriend dies. His violins suck. He tried to abort himself, and even then he didn't fucking succeed.
He couldn't even succeed at killing himself. Like, come on, dude.
How much of a fucking failure do you have to be? And the thing is, what gets me even more, like, annoyed is the fact that, okay, unlike Ryotaro from Deno, where he stayed a wimp, but he slowly progressed to that point where, okay, you're still a fucking wimp, but there's something there. Wataru never does. Wataru is just kind of gets given everything. Like, you remember how he got emperor form? Literally just, it happens.
He gets really mad because his girlfriend is about to die, and then he gets a power up. Which, I don't even want to necessarily say he gets given everything, because that would imply that there is some agency giving him these things. In which case, that's not true. Shit just kind of happens to him. It'd be one thing if it were like Ghost or whatever, where the universe just kind of gives Takeru shit constantly. Like, he just keeps getting stuff because the plot wants him to. The plot doesn't, like, Wataru's growth and his goals, his accomplishments, aren't even really connected to the plot. They just kind of happen at the same time as the plot. So I guess when you're looking at it, yeah, he's being given things, but not really, no. He just kind of gets stuff because the plot needs him to get stuff, and there's never really any reason he gets stuff.
And that goes even double when, like, you're thinking about, okay, this kid, right? This fucking 20-something-year-old man has never gone outside, has apparently never had any formal training, has never had anything outside of basic communication with some middle schooler, which we'll fucking get to, by the way. And somehow he not only knows what Kiva is, what Kivat is, and how to use the fossils, but how to effectively use those to defeat the Fangires, how does he even know what the fucking Fangires are? Like, this guy just knows everything that there is needed to know without having any reason for having to know it.
That's one of those, like, eternal weird things. It's not even, like, necessarily Wataru. Like, fucking everybody already knows all this shit. Everybody already knows what Fangires are, despite the fact that they're ostensibly supposed to be a secret or, like, an urban legend. Everybody already kind of knows who Kiva is. Nobody's really...
Oh, no, that's the worst part, right? That's the worst part, actually, that you mentioned that. Everybody knows everything, Jay, until they're not supposed to. Like the fact that Wataru doesn't know what one of his fucking power-ups look like. He doesn't know Jiro at all. I'm like, how?
That's a weird thing, too, is that, like, ostensibly he should know that. Like, he should at least recognize on some level. Obviously, you know, Kenji Matsuda is not a talking sword, but he should still, on some instinctual level, at least recognize this is the same fucking guy, considering they fucking merge. No,
has he never visited his own fucking castle?
I guess not, because he doesn't know about the fucking time machine. He doesn't know who the other two are. He doesn't know about half the shit about Castle Doran until it just shows up.
That's the problem. It's like, okay, he knows how to use all of this shit, but he doesn't know what this shit is. This is like knowing how to use a sniper rifle without being able to know what a sniper rifle is. Like, what?
And that kind of goes into everything. Like, again, everybody who knows who the fuck Kiva is, everybody knows what Fangires are, everybody knows all of this bullshit. Everybody understands, like, who the Checkmate 4 are and all the whole cosmology of fucking Fangire politics. Everybody fucking knows everything. And I for years, ever since the first, I've seen Kiva, this is technically the second and a half time. I got like 3 episodes in with somebody else because I told them about the final arc, and they're like, oh, that sounds fucking great. We have to watch that. And we got like 3 episodes in and we quit. So I have always been trying to figure out what the fuck it is. And it finally dawned on me what the problem with Kiva is and why it's like it. It's that there's no fucking exposition in this show. At no point at all in any episode, barring stuff that is brand new and immediately happening, like the characters and their relationships and them meeting, which only ever comes up as soon as it is immediately relevant to the plot, which, I mean, not necessarily a problem with, like, stuff like, oh, my long-lost best friend who I never mentioned before now because I haven't seen him since I was 6, but who is just being conveniently mentioned now because he's about to show up again. Like, that's,
dude, that's the worst part too, right? That's the worst part too, right? Is that, like, it feels like we missed an entire different show.
Almost.
With everything that everyone just knows everything, right? Everybody just knows everything. Everybody knows what everything is. It's like, did we miss something? Did we miss another part of the show? Like,
it really feels like
what?
There's like 2 episodes missing. It genuinely feels like Inoue wrote the prologue of episode 1 with us meeting Wataru in his house and him being all cooped up and creepy, and then just fucking forgot to write the rest of the story arc and then jumped right ahead to the end of episode 2. Again, everybody fucking knows everything. Like, everybody knows who the fuck Kivat is, when, by all extent, nobody should really know what the hell he is, and nobody ever really calls attention to him, and nobody ever really knows, like, it could figure that the fuck out that, oh, he's related to Kiva. Like, he doesn't fucking know anything either, and he, out of everybody, should know all this bullshit.
Which brings me to the biggest fucking thing, and I'm sorry, but if you didn't know this, even if it's your first fucking time watching this show, if you didn't know this, you're a fucking idiot. How does nobody in this goddamn planet know that Kiva's a fucking Fangire?
Dude.
It is the most obvious fucking thing in the goddamn world. What the fuck?
I remember when we did the first episode of this ancient episode we did. And I remember going into it, I'm like, I legitimately did not know Wataru being a Fangire was supposed to be a plot twist. Because it's so immediately fucking obvious from episode 1. And the fact that nobody ever calls attention to it, or Wataru never questions it, or even asks about it. And everything he fucking says implies that he is a Fangire. No, it's not. It's supposed to be a big twist. It's supposed to be a major reveal. But it isn't. Because it takes like 30 fucking episodes for that as a twist to even come into the show. And after which it is immediately revealed. And then we take another 10 fucking episodes for Wataru to actually figure out that information for himself. Somehow.
It's like, I'm sorry, but you have to be the dumbest of dumbest motherfuckers on the goddamn planet to not realize that immediately. For fuck's sake, he has the same goddamn markings as these motherfuckers. Like, are you serious? Like, I swear, I think it's like Inoue did this as his fucking joke. Just to laugh at you. It's like, oh, let's see if these guys actually think this is going to be a twist. Oh, these fucking idiots.
That's the problem, is that, like, I can't tell because he writes it way too seriously and dramatically for me to believe that he did that as a joke. Like, we've seen enough of Inoue stuff. We know what he's like when he's writing a shit post and he's writing a joke. He wrote Kiva way too seriously for him to be doing it, like, as a bit. It takes itself too dramatically to believe that he's taking the piss. I think he legitimately just did not fucking care. Because, like, again, like, what the fuck is Castle Doran? How does nobody at all react to the giant
How does he turn into a giant bird?
Why does he turn into a giant bird, but only the one time?
Oh, or how about the fact that for some fucking reason, which never explained, by the way, why does he get possessed by the arms monsters? Like, if you didn't hear the voices, you would just assume, oh, he's just using weaponry. No, they possess him. I'm like, what?
Why?
Can Dark Kiva do that? Can he do that? He has to
I guess.
Like, can he do that too? Does that mean that fucking Ix is doing that? Or is he just stealing it? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, this is not one of those things where it's just like, we're not going to sit here asking what King's tax policy is, but motherfucker, at a certain point, I have to ask, what is going on?
I mean, even
what
then,
are you doing?
Like, what the fuck even are Fangires? What the fuck are these things? There's basic information of the setting and the premise that is just never elaborated on. And everybody else knows it, and we're just assuming that you, the audience, know it. It's
like, apparently off screen, right? Like, apparently off screen, the entirety of the Franken fisherman, or Franken merman and wolfen race have just completely been eradicated.
Oh, not just... I actually tried to look it up and figure out what the fuck there is. Apparently there's like 13 different monster races that never get fucking mentioned. I guess there's like fairies too, and mummies and shit like that. Like, this is full... like, it's full world of darkness, bro. Like, any kind of fucking monster exists. But I guess they're all just fucking dead. I guess they don't matter.
Does that mean Kivat is a different type of monster?
I think so. If I remember correctly, yeah, he's just a different species.
So how does that work?
I don't know.
Wait. Then how did they figure out the synergy between Kivats and Fangires? What, did someone just try and get their dick sucked by a Kivat one day and it just happened? What the fuck is going on?
I mean, hey, that's how a lot of things in the world work, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sorry, but there's a certain point where I have to sincerely sit here and ask, what the fuck, dude?
Like, I'm not even trying to nitpick, and I know AJ isn't either. Like, it's not like little details of like, oh, well, how does this like work with physics or whatever? Like, oh, how does this power exactly work? It's like, it's basic fucking information. It's
what kind of energy does the Zanbat sword run off of?
Like, how does Kiva's motorcycle powered? Like, yeah, shit like that. Like,
via sentience.
It's just like, this is basic. Like, this is fucking. It'd be like if fucking the Silmarillion didn't exist. It'd be like if the Hobbit didn't exist. No, it would be like if Lord of the Rings was half of Two Towers in Return of the King. It's that.
And they never explain what the One Ring is.
No, they never fucking tell you what the ring is. They never tell you who Sauron is, or what the Nazgul are, or any of this bullshit. No.
Dude, okay, like how many times, Jay? Because again, I've seen this show 4 fucking times now. How many times during my rewatch did I say, "Did I skip something? What the fuck?"
A couple of times.
I feel like there's points in the show where I legitimately think, I think I skipped something.
I did too. Like legit, not even joking. I actually fell asleep watching an episode, and I didn't realize it until like 5 minutes into the next episode when I woke up in the morning, and I was like, "Wait a second, I missed something here." And I actually did, for the one time, miss something.
See, and that's the thing, right? You know, I know we're not even getting to Otoya yet, but all of these problems happen because of Wataru. He is the catalyst for all of these fucking issues just arising. Because everything about him is a fucking anomaly. We don't know. We don't really know what he did before he became introverted. We don't know how he got the Kivat powers. Well, technically we do, but like we don't know how Kivat taught him how to use this stuff. We don't know how he realized he has to fight Fangires. We don't realize when he started using the arms monsters. Like, when
never
did
really
any of this
like
happen?
we never figure out like how the fuck he knows the violin means that there's a Fangire attacking. I don't know how it knows either, but fuck it, it's magic. Like,
right? Like I like they never explained that in the show. Like Otoya never did that. He was just never like spibbity boo Fangire fuck you.
I mean,
like,
he
never
kind
did it.
of like he prayed to make it work, but that a prayer doesn't explain how it fucking detects monsters.
He only prayed to make the violin sound good, not to detect fucking monsters.
I mean, I guess. I don't fucking know. Maybe that's something his mom did. But like,
you know what? She was kind of an asshole. Might as well.
But I mean, a lot of the problems like even extend not necessarily to Wataru, but like Otoya as well. Like Otoya doesn't ever fucking question what Fangires are. He runs into one fucking episode 1 and he just rolls with it. He's just there the rest of the show. He never at one point stops me like, what the fuck are all these monsters? Who are these guys? All this shit. Like, we don't know who the fuck, like, the leader of the Blue Sky are. We don't know how Nago joined them. We don't know how fucking Megumi or Yuri or any of these fucking people joined their organization. We don't know how any of them figured out how fucking vampires existed or all this other monster bullshit. It's just all of this information, which, sure, I don't really need to know who the fuck funds the Blue Sky guys. We don't really need to know that because it's not really important. But it's, like, basic information here. Like, we get part of Nago's backstory with, like, oh, why he's a big hard ass. We never figure out how he became a fucking vampire hunter. Like, it's not even just Wataru's problem. Everybody has this problem. Even the most inconsequential characters have this problem of what the fuck is supposed to be public information or not. Like, oh, the fucking, like most of the rank and file victim of the weeks, they don't fucking know anything about monsters until they get attacked. Sure, like that's standard. But like Wataru's friend and what's her face? Shizuka, right? I fucking forget her name.
Yeah. Shizuka knows who Kivat is day one.
Like she talks to, like she has conversations with Wataru and Kivat's there. She knows who Kivat is. Although now that I think about it, I can't recall a single instance where she ever actually directly interacts with Kivat.
No, she just
like,
knows that he's there and accepts it.
She knows unless she just can't fucking see Kivat and she thinks Wataru is a crazy person, which
I mean, fair.
Probably is fair. But otherwise, like, she should know about fucking Kiva. She should know about all this bullshit. And she never questions any of this shit. Wataru's fucking rockstar friend never questions any of this monster bullshit. He just kind of fucking rolls with it and, like, he accepts it immediately and never at any point stops me like, what's with all these fucking monsters? Why are there monster hunters? Who the fuck is Kiva? Never. He's just like, oh, cool. These guys are great. It's like... I'm trying to end this point and move on to a new point, but I
know
can't.
what it is, though? You know what it is? It's the fact that it smells of Inoue didn't want to fucking bother. He didn't feel like actually explaining any of this because he didn't want to bother. And we've seen Inoue, when he bothers to explain shit, he will go really in detail with some of the shit he'll talk about. This is obviously, he just looked at it and it's just like, who fucking cares? Like, I don't care.
Maybe. I don't know. Because, like, I'm trying to get, like, you look at fucking all of his other shows. You look at Agito. And sure, a decent chunk of Agito's stuff is never really properly explained, but that's, like, it's a mystery, so sure, that's fine that a lot of stuff doesn't get explained, at least until the very end. And then a lot of it's really, like, high-level cosmology shit, so whatever. But then, like, you look at Faiz. It'd be like if in Faiz, like, we skipped the first episode with where Takumi gets the belt, and Kiba becomes a Orphanok, and him meeting Mari and all this shit. It'd be like that. I mean, even then, like, we at least know... we, of course, at least have a justification for why Takumi knows what the fuck Orphanox are.
No, dude, you know what it would be like? It
would
be like starting Faiz immediately after Takumi turned into his Orphanok form. Immediately. Because nobody would, like, what, he's a wolf? What? Wait, what? Who's Faiz? Wait, what's Smart Brain? Wait, what?
No, it'd be like
what?
if we started when Kaido and, what's her fucking face, joined up with Kiba. Like... It'd be like if we started 10 episodes in and all of the important exposition has been dispensed. Like, fuck's sake. Even Dawn Brothers. I know this is low-hanging fruit comparing Kiva to the best show on television, but even fucking Dawn Brothers, which explains fucking nothing, has at least at one point sat down to explain key information that we need to know to understand what the fuck is going on. Even though we don't understand what the fuck is going on, we at least know who the Dawn Clan are. We know what the Noto are, what the Judo are. We know all this shit because we at least had a point where somebody explained it to us. Just because nothing else is making fucking sense doesn't mean we don't at least understand the basic details of the setting. Kiva doesn't do that. Kiva at no point explains basic fucking information about the setting. At all.
Because he didn't want to fucking bother. That's the thing. It just feels like he didn't want to fucking bother.
The only explanation is that he just didn't care. That's the only thing.
And the thing is, we know Inoue's done something like this before. Because does nobody remember how Faiz got his Axel form? He just threw it at the fucker.
Like, that's different, though. Like, him just giving out power-ups because he doesn't care about the toys is one thing. Like, fuck, that even happens in this show with Tatsulat just fucking showing up.
No, but sure, but, like, what I'm saying is, like, we know what Inoue is like when he doesn't want to explain something. He just throws it in. So, what happens when he doesn't want to explain any of the show? He just tosses it all in there. He's like, figure it out, fuckface. I don't care.
It's it's mad. It's
show breaking. It's show breaking.
I would almost say it's worse than what fucking happened in like Ghost, but at least with Kiva, the nothing is consistent. It would be like at least if with Kiva, I don't have to constantly guess what the fucking Fangires are because they keep changing it every other episode. The Fangires are the fucking Fangires, and Kiva is Kiva. What are they? I don't fucking know, but at least it's the same thing from episode 1 to episode 48. See, I don't have to keep constantly wondering if the fucking Fangires have become space aliens, or people from the future, or ghosts, or whatever the fuck it is this week. No, that's at least, it at least gets points for that. Consistency. But, good God. I don't want to keep harping on this.
Again, we'll move on to Otoya right now, but again, it is legitimately show breaking with just how often I have to stop and say, how does this work? Why does he know that? What's going on? Wait, how does he know that person? Wait, why doesn't he know this person? What's happening?
How does this person not able to figure out this thing despite the fact that he knows other thing connected to thing?
Like again, the biggest thing is the fact that Kiva does not realize he's a motherfucking Fangire. I'm like, there is no way in any reality that anybody would not be able to put 2 and 2 together unless you have literally subhuman IQ. Which, I mean, fine, that's Wataru, I guess, but still, it was just like, holy shit. But again, I'll end it there because I know we can just go on for every detail.
We've already spent half a fucking hour complaining about how nothing makes sense, and if we don't stop, we're going to keep doing it for the whole episode.
It could be, honestly, we could do like an hour on like every fucking thing that didn't make sense in this show, we would still be able to say we're not nitpicking. Because of how fucking constant this is. But you know what? Let's stop talking about Wataru and his fucking bullshit. Let's talk about something good. Let's talk about Otoya and why he's still the fucking best part about the show. God, I love this guy.
Otoya is weird because in any other context, in any other show, with any other writer, Otoya would be the absolute worst character in the series. He is the comedy pervert guy. He is I don't want to say effeminate. He's a very flamboyant, very theatrical individual.
He is a swindling, womanizing thief. That's what he is.
He's like Eddie Guerrero, but Japanese and a violinist. He's a liar, he's a cheater, he's a thief, he's a womanizer. He is just the worst person, and he's also the best person. Again, in any other show, he would be the obnoxious comedy pervert guy who just only exists to hit on women and get beat up, and that would be it. But Otoya somehow becomes the more important protagonist of the show than Wataru at any point, at least. And it's weird, because again, any other writer would not be able to make Otoya nearly as entertaining. That and his actor definitely really helps.
Oh my god, he is so fucking good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
He's got such a great energy to him. He's got such a manic performance. Just like facial expression and body chemistry and, his physical acting is really good. And for most part of the show, he's just some guy. He's not a writer up until like halfway through, technically speaking, at least. He's just some asshole who decides, because he really wants to fuck one chick, to kind of sort of become a vampire hunter, except not really, except he is. He is, but he isn't a part of the group. I don't know. They just kind of like accept having him around halfway through, so it's like, whatever. Ugh.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? Otoya is that... It's really weird about Otoya because, again, he begins as just a fucking asshole. Like, he is just the worst person you will ever meet. And the fact that Inoue was able to take that and sincerely make him not only go through a legitimate change, but also a change that felt natural and honestly kind of heartbreaking towards the end. I'm like, wow, Inoue, where the fuck was this for the rest of the show? Like, honestly, Otoya for me saves the 1980 segments, because without him, those segments would be boring as fuck because they're all goddamn jobbers.
Absolutely.
Actually, I was going to say, Otoya does bring up a problem, though, that I think you and I kind of agreed on, though, the last time we did this. The 2008, 1986 bullshit should not have been a thing. It was so badly implemented into this show.
I get where he was going with it, but it should not have been focused on as much as it was. If it were like, once an episode, there's like a minute or two flashback explaining something that happened in the past that set up the plot further on. Even not necessarily like a Monster of the Week type thing, but just like a Otoya and so did this, and that affected this in the present kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It would have been a much better implemented. That being said, I think the show would be worse overall if we didn't have it, weirdly enough. Because, I mean, not even necessarily just because like half the enjoyment comes from Otoya and his bullshit. But I think just like the plots with Wataru in the present day are just so fucking devoid of anything happening most of the time.
They're so dull.
The show would feel like padded out if it weren't for the time displacement. But you're right, it's very poorly implemented in a majority of the episodes.
See, I say it mainly because, again, when you have a Monster of the Week show like this, and this is something that you immediately realize the moment they start doing it. The 1980s team, they don't ever fucking win. They don't win ever. Okay, yeah, they beat a monster, but they never destroy it. They never kill it. They never do any of that. They never win. So all the tension is completely gone because you think, oh, Yuri's finally going to kill Rook. She's using Ixa. She's going to beat him. Nope. Rook is in the present time. I guess we know she doesn't win this one.
And that kind of extends to most of the characters where obviously we know Otoya's not going to die. We know Jiro's not going to fucking kill Otoya or fuck Yuri or do any of this shit. Because we know he's here in the present, living in the fucking Dragon Castle, and he's helping out Kiva. I don't know where he ever agreed to help. Well, okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, he did do that. We know, again, even extending into the Monster of the Week stuff, we know they're never going to kill a fucking Fangire because it's the same guy in the present, which, honestly, if they didn't do that, probably would have been better. Even if they did, even just giving it an excuse of, oh, they fought it and they injured it and something or other leads that to being a weak point in the present day or some other shit. If it weren't for the fact that just the monsters fuck off and they lose and that's it, it would be at least a degree better. But again, that's kind of the issue a lot with time stories like this or prequels or anything that's a split timeline. Nothing important is ever going to happen to these characters because obviously events in the other timeline, the other point in time, need to occur with these characters still around. So you're not just going to kill Otoya halfway through the show before he's ever gotten laid, because then the show doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, you probably could do that as a twist. That probably would be an interesting twist to do, is just have... I mean, that'd be really annoying as a viewer to just spend half the show with him and then have him not actually be connected to anything at all. But at the same time, it would be...
Oh, you mean spending half the motherfucking show having him chase Yuri just so it can find out that she doesn't fucking marry this guy?
I mean, to be fair, you can kind of already infer that with the whole thing with his daughter being around in the present day. You think she would at least recognize, at bare minimum, oh yeah, I had another brother just lying around who looks exactly like me, and this guy who is a part of the organization I'm also a part of. You'd think that would be something that came up.
To be fair, though, Yuri seems like the kind of chick who would literally throw the baby out with the bathwater.
It's true. I mean, actually, I don't even fucking know how old Megami is supposed to be.
I mean,
like,
she'd be around the same age as Taiga.
She's got to be the same. No, because I don't think she's even mentioned yet in because Taiga's already born in the 86.
Oh, she'd probably be like.
She'd have to be at least the same age, if not a little younger than Wataru. Because otherwise, that doesn't fucking make any sense.
But that's the thing, like, right? But that's the thing. Before we're told that Megumi is Yuri's daughter and all that, you know, all of this shit going on with Otoya
we
and
find
Yuri.
that out like 3 episodes in when we find out. Oh, she's
no,
already
I know,
dead
but
in the
what I'm trying to say is like, all of this shit with Otoya and Yuri, all of this time we're spending with them together, just kind of feels like a goddamn waste of fucking time when he just cooks her with the fucking queen, and I'm like, well, so what was the point of all that? I guess, like, what? Why?
It does feel like a waste, but I think I kind of understand where Inoue was coming with that plotline, and I kind of do like it, where Otoya is spent chasing after her because of what is essentially a surface level interest in her. He thinks she's hot and she wants to fuck her, and Yuri has no interest in him until she gets her life saved by Otoya, more or less, and that's when she's like, she loves him. Because up to that point, it's kind of just like, yeah, you're kind of charming. They don't really have any chemistry up until like 4 episodes before that point happens. And they kind of rush into a relationship there. So to that degree, it's like, okay, this relationship is kind of rocky. It's not really like a fundamental love between these two. And Otoya finding his real love, somebody he's actually genuinely interested in. And that kind of sets it up, that heartbreak. I kind of understand where he's going with spending half the fucking show building up to that point and then introducing that. Yeah, okay, not fan of that. If
I think
Maya
it's because,
was a character like
yeah.
earlier on, like if that was like a love triangle kind of thing going on, or even like, I guess it'd be like a quadrangle with Jiro there.
A quadrangle? You mean a square?
Fuck off. I didn't want to say square because that sounds stupid. Love square.
Oh, like quadrangle doesn't sound dumb.
Listen, it sounds smart. Okay.
No, it doesn't. We're talking about
fucking
Kiva.
does.
We're talking about Kiva, motherfucker.
Anyways, then again, if they didn't fucking introduce the whole checkmate 4 thing out of their ass and they introduced the queen earlier, I think that plot line would have probably been better. As it is, yeah, it's really fucking rushed. I understand where he was going with it, though, but it's not very well implemented, much like basically everything else in this show.
Because honestly, in my opinion, I think it would have been better if he just didn't chase Yuri at all. I think it would have been better. Like, here's my elevator pitch of how you make this better. He doesn't chase after Yuri, but the reason he gets involved with the Fangires is because he sees Maya, who is a Fangire, and he falls for her. Because it's fucking Otoya. He doesn't care if you're a fucking bug lady. He sees a hot chick, he's going to go for it. So, in my mind, it would make more sense for him to go out to follow the organization, to try and find Maya. And, you know, eventually she starts finding him a bit charming, like, oh, that's cute, you're a human who wants to bang a bug person. That's adorable. And eventually that happened, right? Because as it is, it just feels super rushed. And also, when the fuck did he fuck her to have that kid? Does he just have, like, super semen? Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I guess they fucked there on the fucking beach side or whatever. That is actually a good question. Like, at what fucking point would they have time to conceive a child? Because, like, by the time, like, they properly decide to really try to hook up, Wataru is already there in the fucking past. And shit's going lightning fast. So unless they snuck off at some point in between scenes to go bang, and that was when, in which case Wataru's entire scheme is pointless.
Honestly, it's even worse when you think about it like this. Maybe they actually fucked while he was still with Yuri, which just makes it even worse. Because that's the only way I could think of it. Because, like, unless he fucked her, she got pregnant within, like, 3 days. They realized it, and that was it. Then fine. But the only other time he could have done it was when he was making the violin with the chick. That's the only other time.
Yeah, that's the weird. And then again, if that's the case, then Watcher already fucking failed, dude. You've already lost. There's
Honestly,
no reason to go back in time.
it kind of just makes Otoya look like more of an asshole.
Like, it's funny because, like, I know we're skipping ahead to the end there. Watcher's whole plan was that he didn't want his parents to get married. Like, bro, they don't need to be married to have a fucking kid. Like, I know it's the 80s, and that idea is still kind of, like, an accepted idea. I know that's still out of vogue to have kids out of wedlock, but still, dude, it's like, come the fuck on. You gotta think ahead. No, again, like, I'm fine with the stuff with Yuri and him, like, being obsessed with her in that haha comedy pervert kind of way as, like, a joke. But if he wanted to do, like, the love triangle thing, if he had Maya as, like, a character way earlier on, like, even not her being, like, a Fangire, like, the way he even does it, where, like, she's just this creepy woman who kind of gets endeared to Otoya, and they find out that they have a lot in common, and she really, like, appreciates Otoya as, like, a musician and an artist and all this stuff, even not necessarily knowing that she's a Fangire. If they set all that up in, like, episode 6 or something, and they kind of had that going throughout the show, even doing it the same way we already do it, with them hooking, him and Yuri hooking up, and then kind of realizing that they really shouldn't be together, that'd be fine. But as it is, it, like, comes out of the fucking nowhere with her showing up in, like, episode, like, 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this whole relationship happening after we've already spent half of the show building up to it.
You're getting dangerously close to Joey and Rachel territory with that relationship, fam. I never thought I'd be able to reference Friends on this podcast, but here we go.
God.
They were on a break chain. Breaking the chain indeed. To go back to Otoya as a character, I love Otoya. He's honestly one of the best parts of the entire show. He's charismatic, he's funny, and when the plot calls for him to be serious, he's serious. Honestly, guys, I'm just saying we should just give this motherfucker a show already. He would do great as a main character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's kind of in agreement in that. Even like his banter and his relationship with Jiro, where they start off as enemies because they want to fuck the same chick, and also because Jiro is a wolf monster who wants to eat people. And I mean, I'm just gonna call a spade. He wants to rape Yuri and make her have a bunch of babies.
That's kind of something that we kind of always glossed over. The arms monsters killed a bunch of fucking people.
They are just as complicit in atrocities as the Fangires, but they get a pass because
they're the minorities.
Again. Well, listen, let's not make any political statements we can't walk back on this show.
Oh, bro. I mean, the show's saying it for us, bro. It's pretty fucking red-pilled.
Inoue is very rarely political leaning in any of his works, but occasionally he'll just drop a fucking black pill or two for no real reason and then never dwell on it. Like I always think about in Shanzarian, where just for like one episode we just have like the monsters talking about how modern society is fucking awful and it makes them want to die, and then they just never elaborate on that again.
Honestly, Kinoshita probably was taking some notes from Inoue when he wrote the fucking stamp camps.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. But back on I already forgot what I was trying to say about Otoya. And like the way he banters with everybody, and his relationships develop naturally. Like him hating Jiro and wanting him to die because he's a monster, and then kind of slowly beginning to accept him, even though they have kind of a begrudging rivalry after that point. Like, it feels natural. It feels very well handled, and honestly, it's one of the more entertaining relationships in. I don't want to say Rider in general, but it's definitely in this show. It's the most entertaining relationship, is him and the arms monsters, kind of being like going from enemies to sort of rivals to friends. I like it. It's very fun, and honestly, we probably could have had the whole season about that. But
I would have fucking not minded that, honestly.
God, no.
Because Lord knows those orange monsters need a little bit more fucking attention, especially Ricky and Roman?
Ricky and Raymond.
Raymond.
Or Ramon. Ramon, I suppose.
Razor Ramon? He fucking wishes.
I wish. That would make him a more memorable character, to be fair.
Honestly, to be fair, Ricky probably could cosplay as Razor Ramon. He's tall enough.
Build.
Right?
He'd probably be a better fit for Diesel build-wise and also acting-wise, but yeah, he could do it too.
Yes, he can emulate those shaky knees. What is he gonna fucking do? No, but like,
come get us, Kevin, you dick.
Come at me, you bitch. He'll probably just shoot me.
Probably would.
No, but like, again, Otoya as a whole, he's the best secondary. Like, again, I wish he was the main character. He was so charismatic. He carried a lot of the show because Wataru is not very charismatic at points, where it's to the point where I'm like, all right, let's go back to the 80s real quick. I want to see what Otoya is doing. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the stuff that, Otoya does is just ad-libbed. Like, one for some reason that always sticks out in my mind, the episode where he's like letting some little chick practice violin. They take her to the mountaintops. She leaves the door open, and you can just hear him like, close the fucking door. Like,
Yo, I remember that one, yeah.
Like, she close the fucking door. Like, I don't know. It just, he has such great instincts for comedy that I'm just like, you know what? This guy's great. And, of course, about 10 years later, they bring him back for Build, and he doesn't look any goddamn different.
No, and much like in Kiva, he's also the most entertaining character in Build.
To be fair, it's actually a lot easier to be the most entertaining character in Build than it is in this show.
That is true.
Well, who else do we got? Oh, you know what? I guess we have to talk about our tertiary writer. Or no, our secondary writer. I'm sorry. Iksa. Which one? You pick. There's like 7.
I guess technically Nago. Nago is...
Nago, get the fuck away from me, you thought Keisuke.
I have never seen a real human unironically do the lawful stupid paladin, but I think Nago is probably the closest to it.
Should we explain real quick that the Blue Sky Pictures organization are just fucking...
I kept thinking the same thing, fuck you.
They're just the fucking Belmonts, but worse.
Kind of.
They're the whip, they're Christians, and they keep dying.
Yeah, they're kind of a useless organization because they have 2 fucking agents. One of them is Nago, who is an insane man and should probably be in jail, and was in fact in jail multiple times in this show. And then we have Megami, who just kind of exists. She never really does anything. She has
a gun that gets fucking deflected.
I don't want to describe it this way because it's kind of bad, but she is the girl character. She is the girl sidekick.
You're not wrong.
Basically.
You're not wrong. She is girl. Because again, like Yuri has more of a personality than her daughter. Like she has more spunk to her.
Has a personality.
Like she has more spunk than Megami. Because Megami, she is girl. She is the girl character. But back to Nago.
She actually has agency as a character and a motive and a reason
back
to be involved in the plot.
But back to Nago's sex before marriage end up in a carriage Keisuke. I fucking love
Nago unironically believes hand holding is degenerate Keisuke.
I love this fucking guy.
It is such a shame what happens to him in the second half because he is such an entertaining character. And you wouldn't think he would be. Because, like, this man has a 6-foot metal rod shoved so far up his ass it's sticking out of the top of his head. I kind of don't even know where to start. He's a bounty hunter, but is also like a cop, but is also a monster hunter.
I was going to say, the best way you can describe him is with that one line. Hey, God, you've made a mistake. Fucking fix it. I'm like, all right, bud. I like this. Though, to be fair, that was during his schizo arc. But yeah, like, that's the thing.
His schizo arc that lasted for, like, 3 episodes.
Like, that's the thing. His his character is just he's basically just the world's most up his own ass knight. Like that's it. That he is up his own ass in every single way possible. And I love him. I love him.
He is he is the cliche idea of what like a paladin is, like a D&D paladin.
What's a paladin?
Like, fuck off. Fuck off. I knew you were going to do it. And I still walked into it. Because I knew if it wasn't me, it was going to be you.
You're the Spoonie, baby.
You're the Spoonies whenever he fucking makes a new video. What was I saying? No, so he's the no fun allowed, like, any kind of fun, any kind of, like, jovial attitude, not allowed. Super serious, super stoic. He is, like, if you so much as fucking jaywalk, your ass is going to jail kind of tier.
I remember that.
Absolutely no leeway with anything. He is the most ridiculously affixed morals out of anybody in a TV show I've seen. And he sticks with it. And somehow he's entertaining. And I think a lot of it is just definitely like, he is so serious that it makes it funny. And definitely Inoue starts to take the piss with him a little bit too, where like him being so like stuck up and uptight is definitely played for jokes. And it gets a little too overboard with it during the second half. Honestly, not even just the second half, like a third of the way through the show. He just kind of like, shit just kind of starts happening to Nago. Like he fucking becomes a schizo and breaks a dude out of jail. Granted, it was a Fangire. But fucking assaults cops and breaks into prison and gets arrested because he didn't steal a dude's button. The man is certifiably insane. But it's weirdly he serves a nice contrast too, because like he's this overly serious dude who's got a fixed moral but like no personality, compared to Wataru, who's got no personality as well, but he has no direction as a character. And Nago is like, you are such an embarrassment. Come, let me teach you.
See, I think the reason that Nago works so well, even though his personality is pretty, I guess to some would be flat, is that his character is so convicted. Like he has such conviction in what he believes, and he's so unwavering in that fact that it becomes entertaining. It's like you said, literally if you jaywalk, this motherfucker's gonna kick your shit in. You know what he is, Jay? He is what everyone thinks Batman is. Who's like, if you litter, he's gonna break your fucking neck.
Oh, exactly. That's a good comparison. He's very much that like he's basically a narc, essentially. He's like, no fun allowed. If you are not acting like the most serious motherfucker on the planet, you are nothing to him.
How dare you kiss women before marriage?
Exact. How dare you live together with a woman before marriage, even? How dare you go on a date? How dare you interact with women at all, in general?
How dare you accept that women exist?
Almost. Like, honestly...
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was going to say. Sorry.
See, honestly, dude,
shit,
that's the thing is, again, he has such conviction in his morals that, again, it just becomes funny. It's like, this guy is just, he won't even let you look in someone's direction. Whether he'll just kick the shit out of you. Oh, you dare even fucking litter, I'm going to kill you. I love him. It's just too bad what happens to him after he loses Ixa for the 17th time.
He becomes too much of a jobber and he gets fired from being a Kamen Rider, which is somehow not the first time that's happened in this series. And then he just like becomes the biggest fucking joke in the series. Like, first and foremost, he gets a dumb fucking time travel plot where the first of several time travel plots in Kiva, mind you, where for no particular reason at all, Gowser shows up to frame the Blue Sky guys as criminals.
Oh my god.
Because he couldn't paint anymore.
Dude, I saw him and I was like, oh god, a 9-year-old's gonna shoot you the fuck up, bro.
Well, it almost happened. So Nago goes back in time for no particular reason to stop this one dude, even though he, is being told his evil plan right to his fucking face and could just punch him and force him to do what he wants or, do anything.
That's too
except go back in fucking
straightforward.
time.
That is too straightforward.
No. So the whole fucking time travel thing too, because again, Castle Dorn just has a fucking time machine in it.
What, you don't?
Why? I don't know.
Your house
What are
doesn't
the
have
rules?
a fucking time machine in it?
I mean, mine does, of course, but I don't know about everybody else. Like, what are the rules of it? I don't know. Why don't they use it all the time? I don't know. Jiro brings it up when he brings Nago to the fucking time machine. He's just like, oh yeah, we're not supposed to use it. Okay, cool. You gonna explain anymore? No. So
Can you
honestly,
explain
again,
the rules of time travel, please?
Nago's problems honestly began way before that, where, again, he has his little schizo arc where he gets arrested because a criminal... He's got this weird shit where, like, he's a bounty hunter, right? And his whole thing is, like, he likes to steal the buttons off of people's shirts to prove that he captured them or something. Like, for his own personal collection, like a weirdo. And he fails to do that one time, so he becomes the Joker and breaks a dude out of fucking prison just to kill him for it. Like, I don't fucking know.
It's not about the money, man. It's about sending a message.
But that's kind of when, like, the problems with Nago becomes, where he starts becoming more of a joke. Like, he gets brought on a group date because he's a humorless prick and needs to do something. And he spends the entire time complaining and being like, oh, this is unclean. Oh, this is impure. Blah, 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 blah. Like, that kind of shit. And he was already a little bit like that beforehand. Like, in the early show, like, he just straight up says, like, Megami, you suck. Why the fuck are you here? Nobody wants you here. You're bad at this. You can't be Ixa. You can't be a monster hunter or anything.
You're
like
a
that.
woman.
Exactly.
He but like, under no uncertain terms, basically just says, you're a woman.
Basically. But then, like, he kind of just, like, he runs out of ideas for Nago in a way. So, again, he has the fucking time travel arc where he goes back in time to stop Otoya, who he doesn't know is Ixa, and he doesn't know anything. Like, he somehow, again, I don't know how nobody fucking knows Otoya is a part of Blue Sky until they meet him, or how they don't know who Otoya is, or how they don't know Wataru is Otoya's son, even though he mentions that they have the same fucking last name. A very uncommon last name. I don't know many people who have the name Kurenai. It's very much an
There was that
name.
one chick in Naruto,
That's true.
but she doesn't exist. Otoya does.
No.
He's real.
But that's another thing of, like, there's no exposition. Is like, how the fuck does nobody put two and two together here with Wataru and Otoya? How does nobody know what he looks like? How does
I'm
nobody know who
sorry.
he
You
is?
mean how Nago literally fucking sees Wataru take out the same button he gave to Maya, and the dumb motherfucker can't put two and two together that his mom's a fucking Fangire?
The woman that he very plainly sees is a Fangire.
Who she
Under
tells
no-
him is a Fangire.
Under no uncertain circumstances that he knows this, and that he knows his dad is a human, because not only did he fucking meet Otoya, but that he knows Otoya was a member of the organization, even though he somehow doesn't recognize Otoya. And somehow does not immediately put together, after his time travel shenanigans, oh, Wataru is a Fangire. And then it spends 8 more fucking episodes trying to figure this out. And then after finding out that he's Kiva, by accident, mind you, he has to be told by Wataru that he is a Fangire, which he somehow was still surprised by, like a fucking moron. But that's not even, like, the thing that happens with Nago. After his little time travel shenanigans, for some fucking reason, he gets just, like, shit on constantly. Like, I don't even remember the circumstances of it, but he gets fired from being Ixa because he sucks too much at his job, I guess. I don't even remember.
How did they not fire fucking Mock?
Well, they should have. Like, he whines about not being good enough, and that gets him a power up, and then he still sucks at it. and then he gets fired, and then the fucking literally who rockstar guy who. Oh
what the fuck was that character?
What the fuck was his point? You know what? Let me just plow through him real quick. Why the fuck is Kengo a character here? What the fuck? He has no importance to the plot. He is a fucking victim of the week who just never leaves. He just stays around. He never contributes anything of importance. He's just there. He just hangs out with the Blue Sky Gang because he has nothing else better to fucking do. And he starts like working with Nago because he wants to something with Nago, even though he thinks Kiva's cool and he thinks Ixa's dumb as shit, which is funny how many times he says that directly to Nago's face. But then like he gets mildly injured during one fight by complete accident. By his own fault, mind you. His own fucking weapon backfires on him, and he gets injured relatively moderately. But for some fucking reason that cripples him so bad he can no longer play the guitar, which drives him completely fucking insane. And is just misunderstanding after misunderstanding of him thinking everybody hates him, which, you know, everybody but Wataru hates him.
Thanks, Inoue.
And then he just becomes fucking insane and militant and replaces Ixa for no real reason, I guess. So Nago spends the rest of the show like a fucking joke character. Like, he's constantly being shit on. He's constantly like goofing around, and like he tries to become Kengo's coach, and that's when we get like the fucking Ixa shirt and Ixa-sizing, which wasn't actually in the show, but still. And, like, him doing the goofy signs and shit. And just, Nago becomes a fucking joke, and just everything keeps happening to him, like, bullshit. Like, I think he has to fucking steal back Ixa at one point.
Yes, he
and
does.
Then for no real reason, he goes blind, too. For some reason, he becomes blind. And then he just kind of stops being blind, too. Which, I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. But, like, dumb shit just keeps happening to Nago for no real reason at all. And there's never any kind of coherent plot line for him. It's just like shit just keeps happening for him, and it becomes a joke. And the show constantly keeps treating him as a joke. And I don't know what the fuck was even happening. I don't even know why he was still around, to be entirely honest. Because he just doesn't do anything. He stops doing anything of importance after like episode 40, basically. After he loses Ixa, he stops doing anything fucking relevant. Because even once he gets Ixa back, the fucking plot's moved far past his relevance. It's all about the Fangire bullshit at this point, and he doesn't really have any role in it.
Honestly, what pissed me off more about Kengo is the fact that it's like, okay, why did he need to come into being as Ixa or even Wataru's friend? Like, when you really look at the grand scheme of what he did in the show, what he provided, what he added, he didn't add anything. There's nothing there. Like, top to bottom, right? Can anybody tell me, sincerely, what did Kengo actually add to the show that if he were to be written out completely, we would miss? Nothing that I could think of.
There's like the one episode where Wataru accidentally joins his band, which is still kind of funny to me how that happens. Other than that, which I guess you could argue is a bit of a contribution to Wataru finally becoming, not as introverted as he is. That's kind of around the point when he stops doing the fucking hazmat suit stuff and he starts becoming somewhat of a normal person.
Sure.
Other than that, which could have just been an episode of the week thing, he doesn't do anything of significance at all for the rest of the show.
He becomes an asshole, and then he stops being an asshole.
He's just kind of there. His role could have been filled by anybody else. Megami could have done the same shit as Kengo did. Nago could have. Fucking Shizuka could have. Shizuka doesn't fucking do anything in the show. And she somehow still has more of a point in this show than Kengo does.
No lie, though. I kind of forgot Shizuka was in this show as much as she was.
I know, right? Like,
You kind of realize, you kind of don't think like she's in it that often, but it's like, oh wow, she actually is in there quite a fucking bit.
I know, right? And she does fucking nothing at all. Like, oh my god, actually, you know what? It's funny. It's funny we mentioned how, like, irrelevant as she is, because when I was looking up, like, trying to figure out, like, basic information to try and to explain it about the show, I found her page on the wiki, and in describing her version in the book, it's like, in the Kamen Rider Kiva novel, Shizuka is actually a major character and it contributes to the plot. And that was it. That's all it fucking says about her in the book.
Beautiful.
She actually matters.
She actually matters, as in doesn't, because we're not going to give you... Don't ask us for an example, because we're not going to give you one.
We haven't read the book either, don't worry. Oh my god, apparently in, like, the book, like, Naga was the final boss, too, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
That's kind of based, though.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to be the final boss than King again.
Well, speaking of characters who don't fucking matter and don't need to be in this show.
So
Kengo is somehow not the biggest literally nothing character. I don't know how he accomplished that.
So after Kengo, I guess who are we talking about?
Well, I guess because he's technically a character, there's Taiga, Saga, aka the other Dark Kiva.
Okay. You know exactly what I'm going to start saying, because I'm going to fucking say it.
Yeah.
How the fuck does the Kiva hierarchy work?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Because I assumed that eventually the Kivats pass on their power to the next Kivat, just like King passes on to his and Queen passes on hers. I thought that. But no, apparently Dark Kivat and Kivat the Third just fucking exist at the same goddamn time.
It's weirder too, because like the same thing with Otoya and Watru. The Dark Kivat is Kivat's dad. Like he says it, that he calls him dad multiple times.
Yeah, he's his father.
Which, for one, raises questions about, one, who's his mother, and two, how the fuck do they have sex? And, you know, I don't want to think about...
I reproduce asexually by budding.
How does that explain Kivala, though?
She's a whore.
That is true.
Also, she's not canon. No, she's not canon.
Not Kiva, sure. I'll give you that.
Well, I mean, what in Decade is canon anymore, man? What the fuck?
I don't even think Decade the show is canon anymore.
Like, Decade the show and Zio the show aren't even canon to themselves.
No.
So, you took it... So, whatever. But anyways, okay. So, you have Dark Kiva, and you have regular Kivat. So, how does that work? Why are there two of them? Because, again, I assumed if you're Kiva, you're the king. You rule the fucking place. You're the cock of the walk, basically. But, no? I guess Kiva just kind of is a thing that exists?
It feels like it was a retcon, where it's like, oh, we want to have a Dark Rider, so we need to crowbar this in, and we didn't think about it. Because they mentioned Kiva is like a ancient Fangire warrior, and everybody keeps mentioning Kiva as being like an evil warrior, and that's kind of like, again, they mention it multiple times that there is a singular Kiva that is like it is a lineage of multiple Kivas, and there has only ever been the one, and that in every era up to this point they have been evil warriors who have helped the Fangires, and this Kiva is the exception, except sometimes they imply that he isn't, but he is. Everybody kind of seems to have a different... Like when Rook brings it up, he kind of implies that, like, Kiva's always been an enemy of the Fangires.
Yes.
But the way Nago and the other Blue Sky guys mention it is that Kiva's always been an enemy of humanity.
But let's be fair, what does Nago fucking know?
That is true. But not even necessarily just Nago. Like, everybody in the Blue Sky group all treat Kiva as being an ultimate villain. Like, even like the boss Shima, when he finds out Kiva's around, he's like, well, shit, that's not good. But also don't tell Nago because he's fucking insane is going to drop everything.
I originally thought this is going way back to the first time I saw this show, right? Excuse me. I thought what they were going to reveal was the reason Kiva, especially Emperor form, is so regal and so gold looking is because he's the true leader of the Fangires. And they were going to reveal some bullshit story that the Fangires weren't always these hulking monsters that just wanted to eat people. And instead they were like just people that lived with us, you know? And somewhere along the line, somebody fucked the original Kiva over. I thought that was going to be a thing. But no, I guess Kiva is just a thing that has been forever.
Around, yeah.
Just like Dark Kiva has been around forever. Honestly, that's the weirdest part, right? It's not, the lineage is not Kivat 1, Kivat 2, Kivat 3, Kivat 4. It is Dark Kiva, Dark Kiva, Dark Kiva, Dark Kiva, Dark Kiva. So where the fuck did the other Kivats come from?
I don't fucking know. Unless there's some bullshit where, like, they just evolve like fucking Pokemon or whatever. I don't know. Unless there's, like, been multiple... Again, unless every single Kiva had their own Kivat, and for whatever reason we just specifically started with this particular lineage of the third, which isn't even necessarily wrong because the movie has another Kivat, which, sure, whatever. But... none of this shit. Again, this is all shit that just never gets explained.
Well, because like, could that they imply because if Kivat is the third, that means Dark Kivat is the second.
Yes, they do mention that.
Okay, so then who the fuck's the first one?
I don't know.
And why do they split?
I don't know.
What the fuck, dude?
Again, it really does seem like it was just Inoue came up with this idea, a basic idea, and never expected to have to really explain it. And then once there was another Kiva that they wanted to make a toy of, he had to fucking figure it out. And he's just like, whatever. There's another Kiva. Who cares? There's an evil, there's a super special Kiva or whatever.
That only the king can have. Which, Jay?
Unless there's a fucking time loop paradox bullshit where Wataru coming back in time at the ending fucked everything up, and that's where the third Kivat came from, and he was born specifically for Wataru or whatever. I don't fucking know. For all we know, that could be the case.
Well, Jay, that brings up the bigger question. What the fuck is Sagark?
Aliens.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure. Because what the fuck is that thing? Does that mean there's just multiple fucking transformation monsters?
I guess.
There's Sagark, there's Kivat. I know that there was the ones in the movies. Like, what was it? Fucking Bebat? I don't know. Zubat?
Legend Gora or whatever?
Yeah, like Zubat or whatever the fuck his name was. I don't fucking know. Like,
no, those were just other Kivats in the movie.
What the fuck?
Although one of them was like a robot, I think. I don't know.
No, those aren't canon. Still.
Well, they can't be fucking canon because it also has Otoya meeting Wataru and fucking time travel bullshit. So it's impossible to fit into fucking canon.
No, it's not, because you can just say Wataru fucked up the timeline so fucking much that he had to fix it by trying to kill himself.
No, I seriously tried to figure it out watching the movie. Like, okay, so they already know that he's Kiva, but they haven't gone back in time yet. But Otoya doesn't know that he has a son, but he hasn't met Maya, but he has, and I don't even know. I don't even try to fucking figure it out. It doesn't make any sense.
That's why it kind of comes down to me again, where I'm asking, what the fuck are these things? How do they work? Who are they? What are they? Who are these fucking people?
Literally, if Inoue just said they came from space, fine. That's all I need to know. They're aliens.
Space.
It's from space. That's it. What fucking more answer do you need? Sure.
I need more because apparently now aliens exist in this fucking show. The more you think about it, the dumber it gets.
Man, this is like the same bullshit that happened with World of Darkness, where like you start introducing all these other fucking monster types, and then it gets really ridiculous. Like, fucking mummies exist, and fairies, and all this other shit. Like, sure, like werewolves and Frankensteins, and like then you get like aliens and wraiths and other bullshit and skinwalkers, and like I don't even fucking know, man. Like, I literally, again, like, Dark Kiva, I will give a pass mostly because I legitimately think that was just an, oh shit, how do I fucking work this into the show kind of thing. But what the fuck is Saga? Why does he, for that matter, why doesn't Saga have a Kivat? If he's a Fangire, why does he just have another thing? Like, again, obviously it's because to sell toys, but like,
well, see, okay, that's another thing then. If he's supposed to be the king and being groomed to be the king, why doesn't he have Dark Kiva? Or why doesn't he just have regular Kivat?
Well, the show at least explains why he doesn't have Dark Kiva, is because Dark Kiva is in hiding, and his mom, the other queen, is the only one who can give it to him, even though she's lost her powers and been deposed, so therefore she shouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, you mean like how
But
she
then,
just
like,
randomly gave Wataru Kivat?
but again, like, her approving or disapproving him as Dark Kiva doesn't even fucking matter, because Kiva the second just shows up and decides to help him anyways, so it wasn't even a fucking problem. She totally just out of nowhere.
It, again, every time you think about this shit, because the thing is, we can't talk about Taiga because he's not a fucking character. He's just a dick. Like he's kind of a bro.
Taiga is such a fucking moron and respects women so much that every single problem that he incurs is entirely because of himself. Like, I like the idea of, oh, here's Wataru's long lost best friend who's also his mortal enemy by complete accident. And then he's his long lost stepbrother, which is the most hokey shit you could do, which, I mean, like, again, is like hardly a twist, because the second we find out that Taiga is the king's son, like, you fucking know that's the twist, and it takes 12 fucking episodes for us to figure that out. Well, still, I kind of like Taiga, mostly because his actor is entertaining, and he's just so buffoonish that it's hard to hate him. Like, the entire fucking subplot with his girlfriend, the new queen, and Wataru's girlfriend, and there's this weird, like, non-love triangle where, like, Wataru is in love with her, she's kind of in love with both of them, but hates both of them, but wants them all to die, and Taiga is just oblivious to everything.
Kill your brother if you love me, Wataru.
Literally, she literally says that.
What the fuck was that?
Women moment.
Honestly, dude, honestly, this entire show, Inoue basically just says fuck women.
To be fair, that's most of his shows, but Kiva in particular, yes.
Like Inoue is basically saying, look, bitches ain't shit. Go fight monsters.
I do love just, like, how oblivious Taiga becomes to the most obvious shit. Like, oh, Wataru, you're in love with a girl? Oh, that's so cool. You should meet my fiance, Mio, who looks conveniently like your girlfriend. Like, oh, what's that? Wataru, you got dumped? Oh, well, whoever you were dating is a fucking whore. She deserves to be strung up in the streets.
Too. I love that scene too. What? You got rejected? Yeah, she's got shit taste anyways.
What a low-class woman. She deserves to be shot and quartered,
she's a
and tarred and feathered. Nobody should have ever rejected you. Man, if my fiance Mio ever did that to me, I'd go crazy. Like,
if I ever got rejected, I'd probably try and kill you.
It's so fucking funny too, because Wataru, like, straight up at one point tells him, like, I'm in love with your fiance, and he just doesn't even fucking connect with him. He's just completely oblivious to the fact that, like, his fucking fiance is in love with another man, and straight up tells him, and his best friend is in love with his fiance, and for some fucking reason he can't put two and two together until she straight up fucking confesses her love for him in the middle of a fucking firefight for some reason.
I know, it's even better, right? Because like when she gets kidnapped and Wataru says, "I love your girlfriend," he's just like,
me too, bro.
I mean,
me too. Hell yeah, fist bump.
Same. Splitsies?
Hey, listen, our relationship isn't monogamous. It's Fangire rules, you know.
To be fair, King didn't. He just banged like left and right.
It's pretty much, yeah. Still,
Look, yeah, go for it.
Taiga is like, he's such a fucking moron. But that's what makes him so entertaining, is that he's so stupid. He's so bad at everything he does. He repeatedly fails to kill people. He is so bad at killing people that he cannot successfully kill anybody that isn't just standing there watching him let him die. Like, the only people he kills are people who are just like willingly letting him kill him. That's it.
He had the chance to stab his mother with a sword and she still didn't fucking die.
He fucking missed. Somehow, in a fit of blind rage, while literally holding the woman, he fucking missed with a sword. I don't know how you do that.
Obviously, it's because Taiga is one of the most incompetent bitches on the planet. This is
Taiga
this is the guy who's going to fucking lead your entire race. She's gonna lead him into extinction.
I'm surprised they haven't already gone extinct with the fucking incompetence that run around anyways.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I mean, have you seen their generals?
Ugh.
They're all fucking morons.
Rook just like, I don't know how Rook is still alive. Like, he must just fucking be immortal or something. He doesn't fucking die until he like lets himself die. Which is the funniest thing too, is that like Rook is such a non-character. Like, he's set up as like the ultimate, like, oh, he's the big, like the strongest motherfucker, but he's like a nobody in the grand scheme of things. And like his whole shtick is that like, oh, he just picks random like goals for himself to kill people, and if he fails, he fucking tortures himself, which is, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. He's this character who just like nobody can fucking kill him. He just keeps showing up and losing, but then he just like fucking runs off anyways, like nothing happened. And it's not even like he gets his ass beat. Like, they keep trying to kick his ass, and then he just fucking walks off. He just gets bored of the fight and leaves. And then there's like, I don't even know what the fuck his job was. He was a
smoking a lot of crack.
Did you see his eyes during the finale? Yeah, dude, he was fucking tweaked on bath salts or
dude,
something.
I'm not gonna lie. The entire time Bishop was there, I kind of just kept asking myself, what's the plan? What I would like a set timeline here, guys. What are we doing? I guess just fuck it. Just fuck it.
I mean, at least they have discernible goals, unlike the King, who is somehow the biggest literally who villain in common. Even the fucking bad guy in Deno is less of a literally who than King. Because at least Kai had a fucking goal of some sort. I don't know what the fuck King wants, other than to keep being the king. What the fuck? Why does he exist? What the fuck does he do?
King is there for one reason and one reason only, Jay. What that reason is, you're going to have to ask Inoue.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Because, like, okay, think of it this way, right? Guy comes in. I'm king, I'm going to kill you all. He fucking ha. Then he gets his ass beat by Wataru and his dad. He comes back. I'm the king. I'm going to kill all of you. Ye fucking ha. And then he gets killed by the same guy and his brother.
That's the funniest thing, too, is like, Inoue made him such a literally who that killing him off before the finale didn't matter. But at the same time, he wrote himself so far into a corner, he had to bring the same literally who back to be the final boss again. And it went just as well the first time. It's honestly impressive how fucking incompetent as a villain he is.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, he comes in, he kills a bunch of people, he's trying to do something, and then it's like, okay, well, you got this far, what's your next plan? I don't know. I'm here.
I mean, like, that's one of those inherent problems with vampire-esque media. When you deal with like the vampire aristocracy, it's like, the fuck goals do we have? Like, other than just exist? There are no real discernible goals that they ever have. And even when they do, it's like world-ending shit that only fucks themselves over. Like, God, if I had a nickel for every time there was a vampire show, it's like, oh, we want to wipe out all humanity. Like, okay, sure, yeah, let's wipe out all of the fucking plants on the planet. Sure. Good fucking plan, guys. What are you going to do after that? Starve yourself to death? Good, you know.
There's only one show in the world that did
effort.
that right, and that was Vandy Nights.
I don't even know if Vandy Nights did that.
It did.
No.
No. Okay, I can tell you the exact plan. They were gonna use the Umumabubu sword to destroy all of the humans on the planet, and then somehow that leads to the main character's sister getting eaten.
Man, I don't even. That show is still fucking freaky.
I gotta rewatch that one of these days.
Me too.
To be fair, though,
That's the kind of show that like you can't show somebody else unless they have just as potent brainworms as you, because like you put this on with like your relatively normal or your more casual tokusatsu friends, and they're gonna think you're fucking crazy. They're not gonna sit around and watch it. But no,
I don't think I'm gonna come over next time, Jay. Sorry.
Like, nobody in this show has any, like, the villains don't really have any fucking goals. What is their, they don't really have a plan. Their plan is to fucking exist. They're just there. They don't really have any,
that's another thing,
massive
right?
end goal.
Well, that's another thing, right? What is the hierarchy of the Fangires? What is their structure? What is their social structure? Because the king, the queen, the rook, and the bishop are the ones who rule everything, right? But Rook doesn't do anything. He just fucks off. Queen kills Fangires that fall in love with humans, which that must be a tiring fucking job, unless all the Fangires just happen to be in Japan. And Bishop is just Bishop.
Bishop is like, I guess he's like there to make sure the others do their job, but like that's really only necessary under certain circumstances, and he doesn't really have any other reason to be here. And then the king, they kind of set up with Taiga where like his job is to keep humans from advancing too far, which, I mean, ultimate monstrous aristocracy trying to keep the normal man from progressing. Gee, I wonder what Inoue meant by that. But like, that's kind of like a non-goal too. Like that's kind of like an everybody's goal. And that runs into the problem of like, what the fuck even are Fangires? Are like they just like normal people that can turn into monsters? Like I know they're like a different species or whatever. Like, are they just insane? I don't know. Most of them have jobs. Most of them have normal lives. The problem is that like half the Fangires we meet are completely insane and should fucking already be dead or in jail.
That goes to another point, right? What happens like when you have Murakami from Faiz literally suppress the need to feed? What the fuck is that?
Which they can just do, I suppose. And then you get like the other half of Fangires, which are just dudes. They're just normal people. There's just some fucking guy going about his 9 to 5, and he happens to be a giant stained glass nightmare monster. I guess. I don't even fucking know, dude. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. After a while, it started becoming less of a thing of, okay, what's the plan? And more, who the fuck are these people? Why are they doing this? Like, okay, you know what? Unfortunately, to bring it back to Amazons again, at least then we were told they were going to go crazy no matter what. At least then we were told that they had to eat. But also, at least then, they gave him an alternative, like with Mamoru, where they gave him they gave him the mental midget meat, and where he could eat that and he wouldn't get smarter. How does a Fangire not eat people? Like, do they just eat regular food? Can they just substitute the life essence with regular food?
I guess they can. I guess they can't. I mean, that's the problem with, like, again, that's another vampire problem thing where, like, feeding equals death. We're like, at least again, you know, with Vampire the Masquerade, when you fucking drain somebody's vita, they don't die instantly. You can leave them be, and they just kind of like get better. They get more blood, you know, as normal people do. But like other vampire media were like, a vampire feeding means instant death. Like you like a person is one and done. Once you get all the blood out, they're dead. You can never bite them again. You can't save them and just let them go back, or hypnotize them or anything like that.
Well, see, that's the thing,
No.
Jay. That's the thing. How the fuck did Taiga turn Shima into a goddamn Fangire?
I don't fucking
How does
know.
that work?
More importantly, how does the king turn Maya into a human? How does he remove their Fangire? Like that's the problem. Like, okay, they're supposed to be another species, but like, you can just turn people into Fangires, and you can just turn Fangires into humans. Like, where the fuck does the line draw? Are they mutants? Are they like the fucking Grongi where they got turned into fucking monsters because of a fucking magic space meteor? Or are they Agitos? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because again, if they can make more of them, then what's the fucking problem with them fucking reproducing with humans?
For that matter, like, if they're supposed to be immortal vampires who like, that's kind of the thing, is like, most of the Fangires we see don't age between the past and the present. So I guess they're fucking immortal, or they just live really long. But like,
Well, I mean,
well, I
Maya
guess-
apparently fucking rubbed elbows with Stradivari.
yeah, exactly. Like, they're hundreds of years old, like regular vampires, but like, they can still have children. Like, Fangires and Fangires can fuck and have kids, and those kids are still Fangires. Like, how does that fucking
How does the
work?
aging work?
Like, if you guys are fucking immortal, like, how do you are the fucking Checkmate 4 just special and they don't age? No, because all the other Fangires we
Well, that's
see
what I'm saying. Like,
don't age.
okay, so like,
Does feeding on humans like prevent you from aging? Is it like fucking Botox?
well, like with Taiga,
Is it-
like with Taiga, like he was a baby, but now he grew up. Does that mean Fangires can grow up to a certain age?
I guess. Is it like Highlander rules where you have to you keep aging until something happens and then you're just stuck at that age? I guess, because that would explain why there are Fangires who look like they're fucking 50. You got alternative from Ryuki over here, who is like late 40s, mid 50s, or whatever the fuck, and he's supposed to be an immortal vampire. You have these other guys who are like mid 50s, elderly dudes who are fucking immortal vampires. So I don't fucking know where. I guess, unless it's like you age unless you eat humans, but then like, why the fuck do we need to eat human? Like, but even then, we get the guy who was like the I forget his name, the dude who was stealing stuff for his cancer wife. Like, he doesn't fucking age, and he's clearly been sitting there for 22 years, not feeding on humans or doing anything, just trying to help his wife.
Murakami hasn't eaten somebody in fucking 22 years.
No, exactly, yeah. Like,
And again, this is not us sitting here wondering what kind of fucking fuel that the fucking boron booster uses. This is sincerely something we have to question.
it doesn't make any fucking sense at all, because the rules are never explained.
This is bordering on whose line is it anyways tier. There are no rules and the points don't matter. Like, we're just on the cusp of whose line is it anyways. Because it's like it feels like that sometimes. And again, I know that in the grand scheme of the story, the societal hierarchy of the Fangires should not matter, but at the same motherfucking time, I'm sorry, but it does, because then you have people like Taiga killing motherfuckers because they dare do anything to improve humanity, and Queen killing motherfuckers because they fell in love with a human. But then Taiga's dumb fucking ass turned some random asshole into a Fangire, which either means that the Fangires are naturally occurring, that just happen to be a thing, or they're like zombies who have just populated through biting people. I don't fucking know.
Maybe, I don't, man.
You see what I fucking mean, man?
Exactly.
This is all stupid. This is so fucking stupid. And we haven't even gotten to the abortion plot.
Oh.
Shall we? Actually, you know what? Before that, Jay, Can I just say something about the Zanvat sword?
Other than it's a big jerk-off sword.
See, you want to know why it's such a big jerk-off sword? It's not even the fact that the motion is a jerk-off motion. It literally has a dickhead on it.
It does.
It literally has a dickhead on
does.
it. God, we went so long about King that I don't even remember where we were story-wise.
Well, there really isn't any kind of like coherent plot until the shit with Taiga and Mio comes in, because like that bullshit love triangle is what drives the finale of the fucking show, because like he wants to marry her because he's the king and that's supposed to, and that kicks off this dumb fucking love triangle where she's kind of manipulating Wataru, kind of not, whatever the fuck, I don't even know. And Taiga wants the Dark Kiva, even though he shouldn't be able to get Dark Kiva, and all the stuff with Otoya and Maya hooking up and her being betrayed and all this other shit. It really, nothing really coherent starts happening, at least with the present day stuff, when up until Mio dies. And first, I'm going to be entirely honest. For some reason, I remember this completely different. I remembered her dying and then coming back. I remembered her coming back to life.
I did too.
I don't know why. I just remembered her coming back to life for some reason. But she dies because Wataru, for some reason, blames himself, even though absolutely nothing he did was even involved. And for some fucking reason, he decides that he's going to go back in time and stop himself from being born. Because that will magically fix everything.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yes. I just want you to reiterate that, Jay. Wataru, this absolute genius of a man, decides that the only way to fix the fact that his girlfriend fucking died is to go back in time and abort himself.
Not all of the other bad things that happened, mind you. Not all of every single thing up to that point. His not girlfriend dying is what convinces him to go back in time and stop himself from being born. And like, this sounds hilarious. I have, like I said earlier in the episode, I described this plotline to somebody, and they thought it was the funniest fucking thing, and they wanted to watch Kiva with me to get to this. And then they stopped watching Kiva with me like 3 episodes in. But I describe it, and it's so fucking stupid. And not even like a fun stupid. It's, first and foremost, how Wataru even fucking knew he had time travel powers before he even got anywhere near Castle Doran, I don't even know. I don't even remember Jiro telling him about it. Like, I don't even think Jiro tells him about the time travel shit. I think he just kind of like accepts showing him where the time machine is. I guess Wataru knew it was there. I don't fucking really know. Like, why the fuck would Jiro want him to go back in time unless, like, again, there's a fucking time loop and Wataru needs to go back in time?
No,
so
Jiro just needed him to learn the importance of family.
I guess. But it's not even like his first fucking solution is to do some Looney Tunes bullshit to try and
I swear to God, dude.
try to keep Otoya and Maya from hooking up, which he's already too late. He's already way too late on that part. And I don't know why he thought pretending to be a doctor or pretending to be a fortune teller and all this shit was going to work. What was his plan? What was his plan is to just like tell Otoya to stay with this woman who clearly he does not really truly love.
His plan
and
was
just kind of hope.
His plan was, I hope it works. That was his plan.
And then even after just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna break the timeline and reveal myself to you, multiple times he's just like, you can't let me be born. He never really elaborates on that. He's just like, Otoya, my dad, my mother, you can't let me be born. You have to let me not be born. You guys can't have sex.
And they just straight up look at him like, what the fuck are you on, dude?
like first, you get the usual time travel bullshit. We're like, oh, they don't believe him or whatever. But even after they believe him, like, they think he's a fucking weirdo. They think he's insane.
He's a fucking Looney
And, like,
Tune.
every single time he's just like, you can't get together. They're just like, well, that just makes us want to be together more. Like, even like trying to get Yuri to keep like break them up, she just fucking like gives up and lets them be together and stops pretending. Like, how do you fuck that up so much? How do you? And it's not even like he comes to the conclusion that he just has to kill them to prevent him from being born. The king, for no real reason, after getting cucked so hard by Otoya, he becomes a fucking joke, even though he was already a non-character. He's just like, obviously you have to fucking kill your dad, moron. That's the only way.
I know, right? Like, I love that part too, where like Watsu legit looks at him like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that?
And then he never actually tries to kill his dad. He's like, at that point, he's just like, oh, well, I guess I shouldn't be doing this then. He just stops caring.
I love that too, because like they straight up ask him like, Watsu, do you still think you should die? He's like, no, yes,
I guess not.
maybe. No, wait, what? What are you asking me? What's the question? Like, what the fuck? He doesn't, like, he can't even bring himself to fucking answer.
Like, it'd be, again, like, it would be one thing if he went back in time with the express plan to kill Otoya, or at least his mom. But, like, no, that was never his plan. His entire plan was some Looney Tunes bullshit. Like, this is like the fucking Parent Trap or whatever, to prevent them from hooking up. But no, it isn't until after the 10th fucking time and him breaking time and space by revealing his identity does he ever come to the conclusion of, after being told, by the way, of, oh yeah, maybe I should just try to kill him. But then immediately after being told, like, if you kill them, you won't be born, he's just like, I don't feel like it anymore, dude. I'm like, that's whatever.
He's like, he almost looks at him like, wait, I didn't think about that. I'm not going to be born anymore. Oh, well, I don't want that. That's not good.
It's like, wait, not being born means I won't be born. Oh shit. Huh. It's like he genuinely never crossed his mind. Like, everything will be better if I was never born, but never seemed to realize that not being born means that he'll never be born.
If I'm not born, then I won't be born. That seems kind of weird.
All of this shit won't happen, which again, like,
which means I won't ever. Which means I won't ever actually go back in time to be born.
Which, again, not even getting into that bullshit paradox. Like, the problem is that, like, at this point, like, Otoya and Maya were basically casual acquaintances. They really hadn't, like, properly hooked up yet. It wasn't until fucking Watsu coming back in time and telling them, you guys are gonna fucking have a kid, that they really, like, actually started being together. And it's like what? Again, like, unless this entire thing of Jiro telling him about the fucking time machine and all this was specifically to allow this fucking time loop to occur, which I don't know when he figured that fucking plan out. I don't know, like, because I don't think past Jiro ever meets Watsu. No, because he doesn't, because when Otoya mentions having a kid, he's just like, what the fuck do you mean a kid? You've actually had sex? I don't believe that. Like, I don't fucking know. I can't, unless somebody told them that about, I can't.
Oh my god, dude. Because the thing is, that's like, I don't care who you fucking are. No one can use the excuse, they'll just turn your brain off. Because no one is this fucking dumb. No one is this intellectually dishonest that they can't see any of this and think, did you not think this through? This whole plan is stupid. This whole plan is dumb.
It's not even like I know we got shit with what episode was it? Kyoryuger, where like, oh, like that was the one where people were like, oh, just turn your brain off, and I'm like sure, Kyoryuger is like a not serious show, and that's one of the ones where it's like, all right, fine. If I weren't as heavily entrenched in this franchise as I was, if I just turned my brain off and watched this, I'd probably have fun.
If I turned my fucking, if I just turned my MCU brain on, then fine.
But like, Kiva is such boring fucking weepy melodrama shit for most of it, and even like Inoue's comedy shit is super out of place, because even like the comedy stuff is for the most part kind of taken seriously, with some exceptions. Like obviously like Otoya and Jiro's banter and like some of the shit like that with like Nago's bullshit is meant to be a joke, even though everybody kind of sells it seriously. But like most of it is such boring, uninteresting, weepy melodrama that you can't turn your brain off, because your brain is already off for one. But like it's so fucking dull and the characters are so fucking boring that even like the fights and the soundtrack and the suits and all that, they're not really fucking worth it. Like you can't turn your brain off for it because everything else around is so wrapped up into it that like you can't, like there's nothing fucking
you know
here
what it
for
is? It's quite literally, you can polish a turd all you fucking want. At the end of the day, it's still a fucking turd. And I'll be the first one to say, the suits and the music in the show are immaculate. Like, holy fuck, what did Toei do? Like, who did they sell their soul to get this kind of beautiful fucking orchestral stuff? Like, the music in the show is just fucking great. I love the music. It's honestly probably top 5 writer OSTs, if not top 3. Like, there are not many.
Absolutely.
There are not many writer shows that get even close to the level of amazing detail that this OST gets, and that's not even getting into the actual songs. Like, I love it, and of course the suits. You know, dude, Dark Kiva, that fucking ruby on emerald look, fucking, it's fucking beautiful. But
all of Ix's forms are great. Base Kiva is great. Even like the arms monsters are good, except for the fucking combined form,
the one he used one time.
Yeah.
Actually, I did like, tally how many times he used these fucking forms.
You did.
I did. So actually, here you go. Doga, twice. Basha, 3 times. Garulu, 4 times. And Garulu Fake, once. Because I forgot it existed afterwards. Again, all the
and even Emperor looks good, even though it's that awful piss yellow color they always use.
To be fair, they had to use that suit. If not, they would have killed. True. They would have killed the man. Yes,
the infamous base Kiva suit, which is so poorly fucking designed that it nearly broke Seiji Takaiwa's back, even though it's somehow not as heavy as Decade,
and somehow not as heavy as Shenzaria.
No, well, nothing's as heavy as
Shenzaria would actually kill you.
You know, it's funny because like Kiva's weight gets brought up a lot when like suit actors do like interviews and like discuss behind the scenes stuff. Like Seiji Takaiwa has a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a whiner and kind of complains about stuff like if it's not perfect for him. You know, he's a little bit of a diva. Mm-hmm. But even like the like most hard ass suit actor who doesn't take that shit serious is like, yeah, Kiva's a death trap. That thing was a fucking nightmare. And like half of it's because like the chains on the suit are real metal chains for some fucking reason. They decided to use real chains made of real metal wrapped around his fucking body.
Well, it's not just that too, but it's also the way that he runs.
It's the fact that the chest piece has no fucking articulation to it. And he has this like weird half hunched over run the entire show.
I mean, granted, it's the world's best fucking ab crunch, but fucking hell.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Like, you'd have a 6-pack just wearing that for a fucking day. But, again, like, but to go back, that's the fucking problem, is that a lot of the show is very pretty. A lot of the show sounds very nice. But, as I've always said, if I want to see the suits, I'll buy a fucking... Actually, no, Emperor doesn't have a fucking... No, it does have a... But shit.
He does finally have
I
one,
know,
yes.
right? Thanks, Toei. But, like, if I want to see the suit, I'll have a fucking figure art. If I want to listen to the music, I got it on my PC. I can just listen to it right now. None of that is worth sitting through 48 fucking episodes of jack and shit. Again, even Otoya, being as amazing as he is, I can't justify anybody watching this show for that bullshit. Fuck that. Fuck that. No. So, with that being said, Jay, should we get to the ending? Because
well, so as we've already described with the nonsense fucking time travel arc, you've got the I don't even know what the fuck Bishop's plan was. I guess he just got salty that Taiga was such a dipshit that he wanted to be king himself for some reason. And then he creates a zombie army of Fangires, which he could just do, I guess. And then he revives King, who dies. And then there's some weird bullshit about Wataru declaring himself the new king. And this was because reasons. And then he and Taiga have a dumbass slap fight that doesn't actually end. They just start having a fucking anime club kid fight, and then we just jump ahead for no reason.
I'm going to start rotating my arms really fast in your direction, and if you get hit, it's your fault.
That's basically the fight. Yes. Like, I don't even know what the hell that fight was going to accomplish. I don't even know what the hell Watsuru's entire plan of pretending to be the king was, other than like to draw Bishop out, but he doesn't kill Bishop. He never even meets Bishop other than the one time he breaks into Castle Doran.
His plan is lol. That is his
fucking
plan.
Lol.
His plan is LOL, I'm gonna do this.
So after everything just kind of gets resolved off screen, Taiga decides to reform his company, and instead they're going to, I guess all of the fucking board members were fucking Fangires or something, because he straight up says like, we're going to develop technology to help Fangires generate life energy without having to kill people, and nobody like, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I guess Fangires are again just common fucking knowledge if he can just mention this without it being weird.
Oh no, not just that, but apparently there's just. They're just going to Monsters Incorporate this whole fucking thing and just find an alternative energy source. Because they can.
I mean, I guess there's no reason why they couldn't, theoretically. I mean, they've spent...
What is life energy, then?
I don't fucking know,
exactly.
Dude. Like, if it were... if this were real vampire shit and it was blood, like, yeah, I'm sure you could find a way to synthesize the proteins in blood or whatever the fuck that vampires feed off of. It's not the first time. Fucking Blade's done that. But then, like, that's even just, like, a completely unnecessary, like, oh, yes, all the Fangires are going to be good now, except they're not, except they are. But then, like, for no real particular reason, Megami and Nago decide to get married, I guess.
Apparently.
For some reason.
Apparently.
And then, like, the fucking wedding, which is full of a bunch of literally who's. And for some reason, they invited the arm monsters, which, fucking, we didn't even talk about, like, how irrelevant they are after, like, in the 2008 stuff. Like, why the fuck are they hanging out in Castle Doran? Like, there's, like, one line in the final episode, like, oh, Castle Doran's rampaging. I guess if we stay inside him, he won't rampage, except they can leave Castle Doran.
I was about to say... you're at the fucking wedding? What's the castle doing?
Like, unless it's like, oh, it only rampages until there's a new king or there's a new Kiva or whatever. But in that case, like, why are you still fucking hanging out there all day?
That thing's got the Tokyo needle in its fucking mouth.
Exactly. Like, I don't fucking know. But the entire wedding is such a fucking non sequitur.
Is the wedding, dude?
Why are they getting married? When at any point did they show any interest?
Because he was blind.
Well, I guess that's fair. But like, what the all of this bullshit just gets neatly tied up and nobody has any qualms and everybody's just fucking friends off screen or whatever. And honestly, like, it wouldn't. I'd be fine with it as like a shitpost ending because it is a shitpost ending. It's just like, oh yeah, everything's fucking fine now, whatever. And then in like the last minute, fucking barreling through the door comes Watsuru's son, dressed like dressed like the most stereotypical
Zoomer.
stereotypical Zoomer you've ever seen. He's got the fucking shutter shades, and he's got like a Marty McFly jacket and like a weird scarf.
He really does just dress like a fucking Zoomer.
Like, which, technically speaking, he is.
Oh my god.
Because he even says he's from 22 years in the future, which means he was born probably about 10 years, which means he's like 13.
Papa, these Kiva powers are straight up busting, no cap, for real, for real.
AJ, I don't know what any of those words
None
mean.
of those words.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
Don't be grittying on my coin, cuh.
AJ, just because I'm a person of color doesn't mean I understand any of this bullshit, okay?
Bro, you just gotta get the Fortnite Battle Royale. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
You know, think about it, his kid probably did play Fortnite. Yo, these Neo Fangires ain't bussin', bruh.
Oh, that's the punchline too. Is that his son fucking shows up to save the future because Neo Fangires.
What the fuck was?
I don't know what the fucking Neo Fangire is.
I barely know what a Fangire is.
But they're destroying the world, and so I need to get my dad to help me. And
what?
And like
what?
Like what? And that's the ending. The ending is a jokey, oh, we need to go back to the future and save the world because we've already had time travel.
I was going to start hyper fucking ventilating at that point. Like, what? Neo Fangires.
You know what? As a fucking joke ending, sure. That's good. I'm fucking, like, it's not nearly as shocking as Shanzarian's ending,
sure,
which was just a different show. Honestly, you know what? I think that's the only way Don Brothers will ever become like. I think that's the only way Inoue can ever top himself with Don Brothers is that he ends the final episode with it being like a completely different show the entire time.
So what you're saying is
like he just does the same.
So what
ending.
you're saying is he does the same ending, but this time it actually turns out to just be Shanzarian.
I'd be down for that.
No.
The entire time he was
what?
He was watching it, and we just cut to Akira's office. He's like, "That show was fucking
dude.
dumb.
That show was so stupid. Who watches this shit?" No. You know what? Just to really fuck with you, fucking Masao Kurenai just comes out at the end. And he brings a fucking Neo Fangire with him.
I mean, he steals Don Momotaro's catchphrase,
Dude,
so I wouldn't be surprised.
Could you fucking... Oh, Jay, could you imagine that shit?
I can.
Dude, Neo
very easily imagine
and Don Brothers? Kiva too, my dude? Kiva Sentai?
Like, it's such a dumb fucking ending, but it's so dumb that I can't help but love it.
There's something about how it's... Honestly, there is just something about how it's executed that I legitimately had to sit there and think, did they switch the edits in post?
It's mostly because, like, the kid who is played by Otoya's actor is just Otoya again, but different, but not different. Like, and that's really what sells it, is that, like, if they did it seriously, like, if this was, like, a serious ending where, like, somebody runs in, it's like, oh, we're gonna go back to the future because like, all this shit, like, if they did it seriously, like, it would have been fucking insufferable. It would have been unwatchable. But because it's just, like, I don't give a fuck, it's just a complete joke ending, it becomes entertaining. It's, like... I mean, like, that's all you need to say is Neo Fangires.
Neo,
like, you don't need to say anything else about the ending.
Papa. Oh my god, dude. There's a reason why that's a fucking meme to this day. There's a fucking reason. And it's because of Neo motherfucking Fangires.
I mean, really, how else do you end the show? Like, what the fuck is your climax? Like, there are no plot threads to resolve. Everything's over. Like, everything's already over by the time we reach this point. How the fuck else do you end it? But
Oja
fucking
comes
dumb
in
time
and resets the timeline.
You know what? Sure. Fine.
Might as well.
That's a better ending.
It just turns out all of this was just another timeline in Ryuki's world.
Kanzaki shows up and he's just like, I'm resetting this game.
It comes up, he's like, oh fuck, this got really dumb. I am so sorry, guys. I did not mean for it to get this stupid. We should just tie in all the Inoue shows together, which is why Mio's there. It's just fucking Mai. Oh wait, no, I can't even make that joke because she came back.
You can't even, because it is.
I can't even make the joke because she comes back. She came back like last year.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck, dude? What is this fucking franchise? Oh, this franchise is stupid. Well, with that being said,
Really is sometimes.
With that being said, Jay, give me your final thoughts.
You know what? Kiva is so absolutely, positively, insipidly dumb as hell that I almost say you have to watch it. Not just necessarily because, like, half the fucking people in this fan base nowadays don't fucking watch these shows. They don't even watch the current shows. They don't fucking understand anything that's going on. So you need to watch you need to watch a bad show first and foremost, just to actually learn what the fuck is bad and what's good. No wonder fucking so many people like Saber. It's because nobody's fucking seen any of the actually bad shows, so they think everything's like this. And now they complain that everything's not like this. Fucking, but no, complete tangent. It's got some of the dumbest characters, the dumbest plot, the dumbest setting. Everything about this show is so mind-bogglingly dumb that it's almost experimental genius. Like, it's almost like the Don Brothers of Kamen Rider, where it's so experimentally stupid that it's secretly genius. Except at least Don Brothers is fucking entertaining. At least in Don Brothers, I know what the fuck is going on, at least at the immediate moment. There's at least something that I can point to in Don Brothers that says makes sense. I don't think anything in this show fucking makes any sense. But it's so fucking bad that it's absolutely entertaining as hell. Even though I've spent 2 hours bitching and moaning about everything and how nothing makes sense and everything is insufferable, it's still somehow really entertaining. And it's the way that, like, I don't think I can adequately explain if you haven't seen the show.
Okay, so here are my final fucking thoughts. Fuck tit fuck fuck. Does that make sense? No, because this show didn't fucking either. I'm with Jay when I say it like this, though. This show is so far beyond ridiculous that I can honestly look you in the eye and say, you know what? Go fucking watch it. No, sit down and go watch this fucking show. Why? Because it is so fucking stupid that you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel smarter just watching the show because you're going to think, wow, I guess I'm really not that stupid. Because everything up, down, and all around is so dumb. But at the same time, there's just something about it that just makes me fucking laugh. Like, don't get me wrong. This show sucks. But it's not like Wizard where I would fall asleep. It's not like Ghost where I want to kill myself. And it's not like Zio where some of it is insulting. This is just like, it is so stupid. You know what it's like? It's like, I'm sorry to say it like this. This is the Kamen Rider version of Freddy Got Fingered. I almost want to say they did it like this on purpose, but I don't know. I don't know if Inoue is that smart. Maybe he is. I don't know. He made Shanserian.
I would say he is, but I don't know if I would necessarily.
He made
I get where you're coming from.
He made Shanserian for fuck's sake. He made Dawn Bros for fuck's sake. Who fucking knows? This show doesn't know. It doesn't care. Just go watch it. Why? Because it's fucking hilarious. I can't tell you how many times while sitting here and while watching it for the review, I caught myself like almost like mental patient laughing, where I just couldn't stop chuckling to myself like, this is the show. This is what's happening. Okay. All right. So yeah, go watch it. Sincerely, go watch it. I know you've never watched another Kamen Rider show, you fucking Saber fanatics. I know you haven't. So go watch this one. Trust me, it's actually entertaining, unlike fucking Saber. Unlike any other show that you think is good, a.k.a. the Wizard fans. Oh, that's right. They don't watch Wizard anymore.
You know what? Honestly, I was going to agree with you. Like, I would sooner rather rewatch this than rewatch fucking Wizard any day.
I would rewatch this over Wizard, over Ghost, over Build, over fucking...
It's you know what I was gonna say Build too.
See,
I was gonna say Build. I was like nah, that's a little too.
No, I would say I would rather watch this over Build, only because with Build it takes itself way too seriously to the point where it's like, okay, calm it down. This one it's like, okay, I can at least see what Inoue was trying to do, and I can laugh at it with him. It's so at least it's fine there. Wow, I didn't think we could talk about this show so long.
I did. I expected this.
Again, of the bad Kamen Rider shows, this is the best one.
It's so funny how this used to be the bad show, and then even like Wizard, like even when Wizard was on, like this was still the bad one. And then we had Ghost, and then we had Build, and Zeo,
Saber,
and then to a degree 0-1, and then Saber, and now Kiva's still bad. It's like the 6th worst show, I think. Like by fucking default, it's not the worst show anymore.
But see, like that's the thing. I would rather watch Neo Brain's Double Down than fucking like the first Avatar movie, if you know what I mean. Like that would at least Neo Brain's Double Down. It's bad. Of course it's fucking bad. But it's so funny. It's so fucking funny.
Honestly, I'd fucking rather watch Fateful Findings over fucking half the stuff in this franchise. I'd rather watch that than watch
I'm telling
Ghost
you,
again.
Neo Brain, call us. We don't know anybody at Toei, but call us. We'll get you in touch.
Neil Breen's Kamen Rider.
Oh my god.
I think that would be completely unwatchable.
Why,
but it would still be the
Henshin?
best movie.
How, Henshin? I can't believe you
Listen.
went back in time to commit suicide. I can't believe it.
Look, as long as it's not I Am Here now, anything is better.
It's just Mio
awful.
dead on the.
Even by Neil
It's
Breen
just-
standards.
It's just Mio
bad.
dead on the floor. Just watch you. I can't help you out of this one. I can't save you, Mio. Oh, I would pay so much fucking money. I would pay so much fucking money. Well, Jay,
No more Fangires.
no more Fangires. No more Fangires. It's just Wataru towing Kivat all around.
Oh god, now I need this.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Well, you know what time it is, Jay. We haven't done this in a while. But it's time for the wheel. Now, what's the wheel going to give us?
And you know what? I'm gonna jinx us, but I'm not gonna say the
Oh,
usual.
no, it's Dino Fury.
Well, I was gonna say, I hope we do something we haven't done in a while. I hope we do something totally just like out of the ordinary. Like
I wonder.
not even like not a Rider, not a Sentai, hell, not even like a Power Rangers. Just like something completely out of.
I like
left.
how you leave an Ultraman. You bias fuck.
I didn't even think about it because we never fucking get Ultraman
This is true.
shows ever.
And that's the
Anyways.
thing.
We never get them. We get them so infrequently that I don't even think to name them.
No,
when
dude,
I'm doing
for real
jokes.
though. Like we have Rube, we have Cosmos, Mebius, the original Ultraman X, Ultraman 7. Like we have all of the Ultras on the
Ultraman
or
7.
I don't
dick.
give a fuck.
No wonder you don't give a fuck.
You think Ultra 7 is as ultra amazing as you think it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it
Ultra
is.
Bussin'.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna go back in time and kill you.
You're gonna go back in time and abort me.
Yes. By dressing up and fucking like doing like Roadrunner shit with you. I'm gonna paint a tunnel on a cliff face and hope your parents drive into it.
You know what? That would be like probably like the funniest cosplay, but nobody would get it.
No.
But yeah, so like we have all the ultras here, just we don't get them. So let's spin the wheel. Oh my god, you're spinning the wheel. Oh yeah.
I don't remember how that song goes.
You know, Breaking the Chain's actually a pretty okay song.
That song's pretty good, yeah.
I like the violin section more than anything.
It's definitely. I would definitely put that in a scares the hose kind of playlist, but it's a good song.
Scares the hose kind of playlist. Oh, I forgot
yeah.
we had Ultraman Leo on here.
Oh, nice.
We didn't land on it.
Oh.
So what did we land on? What did we land on? What the fuck is this?
Oh, that's always a good sign.
What the fuck? Hold on.
Oh, please don't be Chinese. Please don't be Chinese. Please don't be Chinese.
Armor
I'm not even
Heroes
being
2!
racist. I'm not even being racist. The last 2 Chinese shows we did were fucking terrible.
Which were?
Armor Heroes and... We did another one too, didn't we?
No?
I can't remember. Was it really just Armor Heroes? I thought we did another non-Japanese one recently.
Non-Japanese. Oh, I mean, we did Inframan.
That doesn't really count.
Well, that's not a show, but we did do Inframan.
Yeah.
What is this? Hold on. What the fuck is this? What the... Why? Wait. Is this even subbed? Hold on. I need to check this.
The eternal problem of, man, what the fuck?
All right. Well, next time we're here, we're going to be doing Jiku Keisatsu Weka.
All right. Yippee. Well, you know what? I got what I got what I asked for.
Well, it says it's in the same vein as fucking Vanny Night, so who
I
fucking
don't
knows?
fucking believe that.
Well, let's fucking see. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.